Frank to analyst with something to say. From the draft to the Stanley Cup, if you love the game, turn it up.
McDavid, McKinnon, and Beddard.
All of the players of high regard,
We'll cover them all and not just the stars.
report on every play fit for a memoir.
Every moment the passion's real. From the puck drop to OT thrill. We're talking hockey, we always will. Bar down, let's go.
Oh, bar down, talking hockey. Oh, bar down, talking hockey.
Bar down, talking hockey. Bar down, talking hockey.
What's up and welcome back to BarDown Talking Hockey, episode number 208, presented by the Barroom Network. It is the home of everything relating to the greatest sport in the world, that would be hockey. My name is Vinny Parisi, and I do not believe, as currently constructed, the New Jersey Devils can win the Stanley Cup. And this right here, this is Frankie Mueller, and he is the king of all beans. Bean? What's up, dude?
Just wrap your head around that we're a week away from Christmas.
Christmas, snow's coming down.
I cannot wrap my head around that. That came so quick. I feel old now. Because like when I was little and growing up, everybody would be like, oh, time goes by so fast when you're older. I feel it. Like,
dude, what the hell you
Thanksgiving's
talking
been over for a month, and now like Christmas is about to be over.
Yes. Your boy's wedding had a little to do with that, I think. It kind of like was a little something extra in the smack dab in the middle of the whole thing.
That's right, VP. Congrats. It's your first show as a married man.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Did you enjoy yourself?
I did.
I'm glad. It was a good time. Everybody seems to have enjoyed it. This is our first show back. Took a little while away to do the festivities and do the whole thing. Super stoked. But guess what, Frank? Hockey, best time of year. I mean, what the hell?
It really is. Not only for hockey, but for football, too.
I know. And we haven't talked a little NFL much this NHL season, so we're going to have a deep dive on that in the third period. But, I mean, we got the World Juniors. This is our last show before the World Juniors because we do have a little programming note. We are going to not do a Christmas Eve show. But we will be back on New Year's Eve to do a show on New Year's Eve. So obviously very excited for that. But that'll preview the Olympics because the rosters for the Olympics are due on the 31st. And a little birdie told me that Hockey Canada and Team USA are going to reveal their rosters on the day that they're due because they don't think they won't get out anyway. So they're just going to do it. Can't speak for Switzerland, Sweden, Finland, any of the others, but I'm fairly confident Team USA and Hockey Canada are going to put out their rosters officially on New Year's Eve. So that's a cool little thing to discuss while you're getting your New Year on with your friends. World Juniors, though, this is the last show before the World Juniors. I like Canada and Sweden this year.
Yeah, I mean, US, they're not what they used to be. Canada, I think, is going to probably run away with it for sure.
Yeah, Canada's got a really good squad. Team USA is looking to three-peat. I just don't see it. Hagens is
again,
amazing.
Like it could happen though.
It
like
could.
You just right? Like that's what's crazy about hockey. Like
goalie gets hot. Hagen scores a couple hat tricks. 100%.
There'll be a guy that's like under the radar. So he had like 5 goals in the tournament, and then like you just don't know.
Yes, and I really think the Bruins got a stud with Hagens. And, you know, they got other guys who are drafted, going to be drafted, whatnot. I look at Porter Martone and Gavin McKenna and Keaton Vierhoff. I'm like, Team Canada stacked. I look at Eklund and Anton Frondell. I'm like, Sweden, sweet. So I'm really looking forward to watching all the teams play, starting on Boxing Day, which is next Thursday. Would it be next Friday?
The day after Christmas, yeah.
The day after Christmas. I don't even know what day Christmas is. I don't know what day today is. I know today's Wednesday because we're doing the show.
Yeah.
Okay, so next Friday will be Boxing Day, the start of the World Junior Championships. Which, Frank, we're going to have a conversation off air, but there is a plan in place to have some hanging for the Winter Classic on Friday, January 2nd. So if you're not busy, I think it's a night game, a night winter classic again, especially on a Friday. Ooh,
Nice.
ooh, we're gonna have a good time. There's gonna be plenty of snacks. I highly recommend if you're invited coming. So yeah, Frank, you want to get into the puck talk?
I'm ready.
A little bit of puck talk.
A little bit of puck talk.
This one's not gonna make me too happy. We're gonna get to that conversation. Period number 1. That was like, for a second, I thought you were just gonna leave it, and it was like that SpongeBob meme. Like, you want to see me run to that rock and back? You want to see me do it again? Like, that's what I was like.
Did you hear it? It like went
for like half a second, and then
And
it was done.
it.
I was like, "Am I having a stroke?
like that's yeah.
Am I dead?"
Like
Maybe
what do you mean? You didn't see the graphic?
Like, yeah, I'm like, no, what town am I in? Quinn Hughes was traded to the Minnesota Wild, a team near and dear to my heart. I love them. I love them. I'm extremely happy for the Minnesota Wild, the state of hockey. Really good team. They're a super elite team now. They traded Zeev Buyam, Marco Rossi, Liam Ogren, and a first-round pick to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for Quinn Hughes. Frank, we're going to break it down for each team, but I'll start with you. Or we'll start with this really quick before we break it down for each team. What were you doing when you found out that Quinn Hughes was being traded to the Minnesota Wild, and how did you immediately react to it?
Well, so what day was it officially?
It was Friday. Would that be what's 7?
Last Friday?
It's the 12th. Friday the 12th. Because I knew, because it was Friday, and I was like, can you imagine if he got traded 1 week prior to the day? It would have been during my wedding.
I think I was by my sister, I think. And I wasn't really like on social media a ton, and then I got your text
about Booyah.
Steve and to me and Tom. And
Shout out, Tom.
And I had no idea what was going on. And then he asked, like, "Oh, what do you mean?" And you said Quinn Hughes got traded to the Wild. And I was a little shocked. I don't remember if I was doing something, like if I was out doing something. I think I was just chilling around, but yeah, I was very shocked, especially to hear that he went to the Wild.
They were not in the mix. They weren't mentioned.
Nope.
It was always in my brain one of 4 teams to be traded to. And like, I still think there's a chance 16 months from now he signs with the Devils, the team with his 2 brothers locked in for a long time. I do think that's still possible if he doesn't sign an extension. But the 4 teams that I thought he'd get traded to were the Devils, the Flyers, the Red Wings, or the Capitals. Those were the teams that I thought he was going to. One of those 4. All of a sudden, you start Billy Guerin, the Wild. They're going to trade for Quinn. I was watching the Taylor Swift documentary that they put on.
Oh yeah.
On Disney Plus, yeah, and then we rolled right into they did the movie again, except instead of being like just a random show in LA, it's the last one ever in Vancouver. We were like halfway through one of the eras. Elliot Friedman notification on my phone. I have tweets set for Friedge. Friedge, Dylan Carballo, handful of other insiders. Dylan's amongst them in terms of people I have Twitter notifications for. And really quick sidebar, I will never turn Dylan's tweet notifications off.
You have his on and you have me blocked or whatever.
I don't have you blocked.
Silence.
I could probably, I'm like a couple episodes of Survivor behind. I'm caught up on Hell's Kitchen.
So
crap. Didn't know that. I'll eventually I'll watch it. I mean, I watched a couple episodes a couple nights ago. I'm in it. I'm just a little behind, which understandably. But Elliot Friedman interrupts my Dylan Carballo notifications with Quinn Hughes is being traded to Minnesota. Never in my wildest dreams did I think he was going to the Wild. If I had to pick a team that he would go to besides the Devils, the Wild would have been one of the 3 I picked. Edmonton would have been cool. Vancouver would never trade Quinn Hughes to Edmonton, though. I think they could offer them anything but McDavid and Draisaitl, and they still would say no. If they traded him to the Blackhawks, that'd be cool. I would have been pumped about that. I would have got to meet him right away, and he would have just been great content for me. And then, the Bruins, the Leafs, teams like that would have been cool. But the Wild right there. We'll always love the Wild. Special place in my heart. Zach Parise, U.S. Hockey Hall of Famer as of last weekend. We'll always love the Wild. Happy for them. Cool. I did not think they'd give up Zeev in this deal, though. But then, you give up pretty much anything to get Quinn Hughes. Zeev's going to be a great player. I think he could be a number one defenseman. He's got to Vancouver. He's got 3 points already in 2 games, including a game. He's been great. I have no retraction on my opinion from him in the draft. If anything, it's more. He was the centerpiece of a Quinn Hughes trade.
Mm-hmm.
So for Vancouver, my reaction is that's about as good as they were going to do, knowing he was out 1 foot out the door. You got William. I think Marco Rossi's probably a 60 to 70 point guy at minimum throughout his career. Will he ever break through and be an 80, 90 point guy? That remains to be seen. And then for Minnesota, you're getting one of the 2 best defensemen in the National Hockey League for a year and a half. And now you are right there. You are right there with Colorado and Dallas as the best teams in the Western Conference.
It was only a matter of time before he left. I mean, they were going nowhere. I looked at the standings and I had to do a double take that they were at the bottom of the NHL standings in 32nd place. So, I mean, what this does is they're basically forcing themselves into a little rebuild here. And they really didn't have a choice. Like you said, he was going to walk away at the end of his free agency or in free agency at the end of his contract. So they wanted to get as much as they could for him, given his current value right now. I mean, he was a finalist for the Norris back-to-back years. He won the Norris in 2024. He's second in points for defenseman only to Makar since the past handful of years or since they came into the league. I mean, him heading to the Wild, I think just caught everybody off guard, like you said, VP, because nobody expected him to go to the Wild. Nobody mentioned the Wild as a team. It was always New Jersey or the Detroits. But, the one positive thing through all this for the Vancouver Canucks on the upside is they got a great haul. They got Zeev, they got Marco Rossi, 2 great players that'll do well for the Vancouver Canucks. They don't have to worry about anything there. And since, trading Quinn Hughes away, they actually are 2-1. They got a positive record. So props off to them. I don't see them, really doing anything the rest of the way here. But like you said, the Minnesota Wild, they're true contenders now to win the Stanley Cup. I mean, the Wild were already having a great season. But ever since they've acquired Quinn, they've looked even better. They dominated the Bruins. They dominated the Capitals in the 2 games that he's played for the Minnesota Wild so far. Those teams are doing very well right now for themselves. Their power play 1 is stacked. They got guys like Joel Eriksson, Kaprizov, Boldy, Zuccarello. Now you got Hughes. The Wild haven't advanced past the first round of the postseason in their last 8 attempts. So what did they do to try and fix that? They added Quinn Hughes to a team who is already top 10 in goals against allowed. They were not giving up goals as it was, and now you just strengthen your defense even more. So I think there's a new beast in the Central Division. I think that teams need to watch out for them, and they shouldn't take them lightly.
One of Dallas, Colorado, Minnesota is going to be out after the first round.
It's crazy.
It's just nuts. I tweeted after the trade, unless they're playing the Oilers or the Avalanche, the Minnesota Wild go into about every matchup with a core advantage. Quinn Hughes, Kirill Kaprizov, Matt Boldy, Brock Faber, Joel Eriksson, and both goalies. A few cores around the league are as good, but few are better. I really think the only ones that are definitively better are Edmonton and Colorado. Now think of every team in the league when healthy. Devils, Jack Hughes, Luke Hughes, Nico Hischier, Jesper Bratt, Timo Meier, Dougie Hamilton, Markstrom, Allen, whatever. When healthy. Great core. It's not better than the Wild. Is it as good? Maybe. But that Wild core, the only ones I would definitively say are better are Colorado and Edmonton. And that doesn't mean they're better teams either, though. Because the Wild's 4th line, Vladimir Tarasenko, he dominated the Capitals yesterday. Brock Faber's their number 2. Nobody's talking about Jared Spurgeon or Jonas Brodin, who are 2 of the best defensive defensemen in the NHL and have been for a long time. Jesper Wallstedt, has he lost a game yet? Or has he lost more than 2 in his NHL career, at least this year? And then all of a sudden, Gustafsson turned it on a couple games into the year after they had that team meeting. Joel Eriksson, if I get a Selke vote which is possible, I would vote for Joel Eriksson Ek to win the Selke Trophy if the season ended today. And then you got Kaprizov and Boldy, who might both be top 10 scorers. I don't think Kaprizov's going to win the Rocket Richard because McKinnon's going to run away with it, but he's going to probably come in second or third. One of the best wingers in the NHL. I do think they'd probably like to add a number one center still. I like Joel Eriksson Ek is amazing. Imagine if he was the number two, though. He kind of reminds me of Heischer. Heischer and Eriksson Ek have a lot in common in terms of their play style, their level of production offensively, and how good they are in their defensive zone. I only bring up Heischer because we talk about him a bunch on this podcast. It's a well-known player to both of us. You know, Brock Faber's going to look better playing with Quinn Hughes. He quarterbacks a power play that in a way that few others around the league can. And even though the Wild were good before the Quinn Hughes trade, like I saw them in person like a week before the trade. They played the Hawks at the UC a couple weeks ago, or not even a couple weeks ago. I think it was the last game I attended before the wedding. They were great. I think they won 8 out of their last 10 going into that game. They had a loss and then won 2 again, traded for Quinn Hughes. But now you think about the playoffs. You go into a series against Colorado. You have everything they have except kind of that number 1D. Brock Faber's very good. He's very good. He's not Cale Makar or Miro Heiskanen. He's not even in the same conversation. He's probably not even really Devin Taves or Thomas Harley, the number 2 on each team. You go into a series now with Quinn Hughes against Cale Makar or Miro Heiskanen. You can look them square in the eye and skate with them. I still think Makar's a tick better than Hughes, but that's not the difference in a playoff series. Mm-hmm. You know, Quinn Hughes, they can win. People forget Vancouver was 1 goal away from beating Edmonton in Game 7 2 years ago. And then Edmonton goes on to the Cup, loses to Florida. Vancouver probably would have lost to Florida too. But, I mean, the way it's fallen apart for them is craziness. But you add Quinn Hughes to that Wild team, and I think they're going to like win the division because Colorado's not going to lose either. They were kind of ass last night going into the third period, and they found a way to win. McKinnon.
Now that's scary because that was how they were the year they won the Cup. Comeback kings.
Well, and the Nate Dogg talked after the game about how him and Marty Nietzsche skated together over the summer to kind of work on their chemistry and whatnot. It was hard to get going for them last year, and you could tell. Now it's like Nietzsche has been incredible. Is he Rantanen? No. You know, and that guy's in the Division 2 now. You know. So that Dallas, Minnesota, Colorado trio at the top of the division, the fact that one of those teams is going to be golfing 2 weeks into April is just nuts to me. It's nuts to me.
VP, you said it perfectly. I kind of want them to restructure the playoff format a little bit.
I would.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, I feel like even some of the bottom teams, like 5 through 8, there's some good teams in there. You're still going to lose good teams no matter how you structure the playoffs, but you shouldn't have like a top 3, a team in the top 3 going against each other. And then it just kind of ruins the excitement for it, right? Because then like your conference finals could be not as exciting as a first round matchup. But we've talked about that. Like we've aired our laundry in terms of that, you know.
Of course, a lot of teams or a lot of people have gone down that path. For me, like even before, there were 3 divisions in each conference, 6 total in the National Hockey League before this current format. And the division winners would get the top 3 seeds. So it was kind of like the NFL, like one of the Bucks or the Panthers, which we're going to get to that in the third period, one of them is going to host a playoff game as the 4 seed. Even though whoever's the 5 seed is probably going to have a better record than them by 3 games or more.
Yeah.
That happened in the NHL before this format. You know, I think it was the Southeast Division. It had Washington, Carolina, Florida, Tampa Bay, and one more team. I don't even remember who it would have been. Regardless, whoever would win that division always had a worse record than the second best team that is now in the Metro. You know, the Devils would be the 5th seed, or the Rangers would be the 5th or the 4th or 5th seed, and they'd have a better record than the 3rd seed. For me, I would just do conference. I would do away with the divisions 1 through 8. 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, get rid of the divisions entirely. Then in that format right now, Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota would be the top 3 seeds. That's the way. I think that's the way you get the most reward for your regular season. I know it's the old school way to love a division, be a big division guy, which is fine. That's a good argument. Everybody's entitled to that opinion, but it's hard to argue against the fact that one of those 3 teams is going to have an early exit, and a team like, from the Pacific might go on a nice little run, get to the conference finals, and then get smashed by, whoever comes out of those 3. Or you can argue that
1 through 8.
Yeah, oh yeah, and you could also argue though those 3 teams are going to beat each other up, and maybe by the conference finals they got some lingering injuries from the first 2 rounds that the other team that made it might not have. So there's arguments for there's no perfect formula, but the thing we know for sure is Minnesota's got their name in the hat now.
It's also never going to happen, and I know a lot of people would probably be against it in the hockey world, but I wouldn't be against them adding a style of play in like the NBA does it either. I like that. I think it gives teams motivation who are even on the worser side to continue trying. I've always been a fan of that, and it's just more hockey, and hockey is different than the NBA is. Like in NBA, you'll have teams like huge favorites. Well, in the NHL, you're going to have the most would be like minus 400 or something compared to like minus 1500 in the NBA, because hockey is so unpredictable. I say we give people more hockey, do a play-in, and then it's like it also gets rid of tanking at the end of the season too. If you're in 10th place, 7, 8, 9, 10, you're going to do a play-in. I think I like that idea too, but it's never going to happen. But
I mean, you would almost be guaranteeing like seeing Celebrini and the Sharks in a play-in series.
And it would be exciting because
it would be exciting.
Like that could give a team that's better than them a run for their money and win the series. And it would just be so much better, I think. But
yeah, I don't know if it'll ever happen in hockey, although hockey has those weird little mini tournaments at every level until you get to pro. So, I mean, it's not like these guys are unfamiliar with it. So,
like do a best of 3 for a play-in.
And all of this discussion comes from the fact that the Minnesota Wild traded for Quinn Hughes, which makes them one of the 3 powerhouses in the Western Conference. They just also happen to be in a division with 2 other powerhouses. We'll end period 1 with this. Minnesota Wild, Dallas Stars, Colorado Avalanche, Edmonton Oilers, Vegas Golden Knights. Did I just name the Western Conference champion?
Yeah.
Okay, so no Anaheim yet.
No.
Even though they currently lead their division, you
got to pay your dues, VP.
Okay.
Got to pay your dues. It's too early. It's like the same thing when the Devils made the playoffs.
Yep. I understand what you mean. All right, Frank, we're going to get to some other NHL news in period number 2. Yeah, we got some other NHL news. Okay. Other NHL news. Earlier in the day, there was actually a blockbuster goalie trade that is huge. I compared the Quinn Hughes trade in terms of impact to Tkachuk for Huberdeau. Every now and again, you get those superstar trades once every 3 years or so. You see a guy of that magnitude change teams.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody could predict Huberdeau's point total literally being cut in half. I believe the year before he was traded, when he was with Florida, he had the most points a left winger had ever had in the history of the NHL. I could be wrong about that, but I'm almost positive he broke some kind of record for the most points by a winger in NHL history. Or at least that winger. Yeah. Whatever Ovechkin isn't. Which is crazy. Which that 113-point season by Huberdeau actually might be more than anything Ovechkin ever had in a season. And now he's like a 50-point guy. He literally cut in half. But Tkachuk goes to Florida. They win the Cup twice. They're in the final. 2 years in a row now. They won them both. It was the missing piece from the year before when they lost.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got this Hughes one. But earlier in that day, Jeff Skinner and Tristan Jarry were traded for one another. 2 goalies who probably could use a change of scenery by the way things were going for them. Skinner goes over to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Jarry comes over to the Edmonton Oilers. What were your thoughts on that trade? The Skinner hater extraordinaire that you are, even though he's been to 2 finals.
Listen, I'm not a Skinner hater. I'm just not a Skinner believer. He's a great goalie. And the Oilers listen to me that Skinner was just not the answer. He was great at times. He was unbelievable at times. I mean, he was 1 game away from winning a Stanley Cup. Made it to the Stanley Cup finals back-to-back seasons. But not many goalies could say that, especially in this day and age. But he just wasn't consistent enough. And I hate to say this, and there's no disrespect to Stuart Skinner, but I don't think he possesses the clutch gene. And the clutch gene is something you just have. You can't buy it. You can't learn it. You can't practice it. You're just born with it. And I haven't seen that from Stuart Skinner. As far as Tristan Jarry goes, I don't believe he's an upgrade or a downgrade. I think their talent level is just about the same. I mean, Jarry was having a great year for the Penguins this year, but overall, Skinner has way more playoff experience than Jarry, and both these goalies kind of replicate one another. I'll say for Jarry, playing on such a veteran-heavy team for so long and going to a team that's, has a lot more talent, like the Edmonton Oilers, may do him a bit better. And it might bode well for Tristan Jarry, but I just can't give you a firm answer as if this was the Oilers, what they needed to do and the goalie they needed to acquire to get over the hump and win the Stanley Cup. I can't answer that right now.
I got a problem with this trade, personally, because Skinner outdueled, he was better than Ottinger 2 years in a row in the conference finals. He was clutching that series. Florida beat him twice. Nobody else did. He hasn't lost a playoff series to someone not named Florida in like 3 years. Okay? And now you got Jarry, who's a good goaltender too, but I'm not sure he's better than Skinner. And Skinner has proven to me he can win in the big moments. He does get better in the playoffs. He was bad against Florida twice. We don't think anybody else would have been bad against Florida twice. I mean, I'm just, and then right when Pittsburgh is starting to decline after that hot start they have, and right when Edmonton is starting to heat up, they swap the goalies. And now Jarry's going to go on this run with Edmonton, and they're going to be great. I think it would be the exact same result with Skinner. And Pittsburgh's going to continue to slide, and they're going to have Skinner in net for it. And I just can't believe that this guy's going to have that on his plate again because of the timing of the trade. Like, it's just nuts to me. Do I think Skinner's this consistent goalie in the regular season? No, I don't. Of course I don't. Do I think the Oilers could win 10 cups if they had an elite goalie? Yes, I do. And then they face each other last night.
I know, that was funny.
On national TV.
I know.
Who knows how to score on Skinner more than the current core of the Edmonton Oilers? They faced this guy in practice for the last however many years. I don't know when Skinner fully became the number one. It was not long after Mike Smith hung him up. Good old Mike Smith, Frankie's favorite all-time goalie. Like McDavid looked like he did that move on Skinner. Did you see the beautiful goal McDavid scored yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
He heaved through all the D, and he knew exactly what to do on Skinner. There's no goalie McDavid knows how to put his jockstrap hanging from the Raptors more than Skinner. And Draisaitl gets his 1,000th point against Stuart Skinner, and the entire Edmonton bench spills over the bench and celebrates with Draisaitl right next to Skinner's cage. Damn it. And he's not even allowed to go give Draisaitl a fist bump for it because he just allowed it. It would have been too much tummy sticks. He would have got crapped on for that. I feel terrible for Skinner. Regardless of what you think of him as a goalie, this guy outduels Ottinger, who's going to probably start for Team USA unless Hellebuck gets like the respect nod, And Hellebuck deserves it, but Ottinger's right there, right? He's one of the best goalies in the world. Skinner outdueled that guy twice, and goes to the final, loses to Florida. It's a bad taste in everybody's mouth. And then against the team that he played for so long, Draisaitl gets his 1,000 point on the next shift. McDavid pulls off that goal. It's 2-0 quickly, and he loses to the Penguins, he loses to the Oilers, who just traded him away. It's just, I feel terrible for him. in
But
hockey terms.
the thing is though, when we go back to his playoff runs with Edmonton, especially last playoff run,
He was better the year before, except for the Dallas series.
the Oilers did have to rely on Calvin Pickard though. That's
Yep.
where the inconsistency comes in. Look at all the great Stanley Cup champions over the year. Marc-Andre Fleury was the number one for the Penguins. Corey Crawford was the number one for the Blackhawks. Jonathan Quick was the number one for the Kings. They didn't have to rely on their backups. The backups very, very, very rarely didn't play. And that's where the clutch that I say doesn't come in. Yeah, you sit for 3 games in the playoffs and come in and you're great, and then he's great for 5 games, but it hurts you when you're not good for those first 3 games. I mean, that's what separates you from some of the greatest goalies who have won Stanley Cups in our lifetime.
Yep.
Henrik Lundqvist, the backup, never played in the playoffs. So I'm just saying he never won a cup, but that's what I'm just trying to say is like it just wasn't clutch enough, VP. He wasn't it.
Yeah,
it just wasn't it.
It's hard to explain because, like, if you look at his stats in games 4, 5, and 6 in the playoffs, like in a series, games 4, 5, and 6, he's got like Vezina numbers.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And then like those games 7s were not good, and one like every series started poorly. Like it was an inconsistency factor that did him in. I'm not arguing that, but I wanted to see him succeed so bad because whenever a goalie takes that much heat, I always kind of like root for him, like figure it out, man, get it done. And now he's going to be on Pittsburgh while they continue to slide because I think Pittsburgh season's over now.
Yeah, Skinner's a good goalie. He is a good goalie. He's going to look a lot worse on the Pittsburgh Penguins, and a lot of people are going to give him shit on the Pittsburgh Penguins because it's not going to be pretty.
Same old Skinner, the guy who outdueled Ottinger in the playoffs. Same old Skinner.
I think Skinner could get to the level of being a Stanley Cup winning goaltender, but I just don't think he'll ever be clutch. You need him to make that one big save at the end of the game. He might not be able to do that to get you the cup. He's going to need help from the guys around him to really carry him a little bit. But I know he's a great goalie.
100%.
I just think he's a little overrated, VP. That's all.
Well, now you can argue he's underrated.
Well, yeah, now, but
because he's gonna look like crap.
He's gonna look bad.
Yeah,
he's gonna. Yeah,
I mean, he kind of did against the Oilers last night, but we'll see how it goes for them going forward. I can't root for them because Pittsburgh's right there with the Devils trying to hang on with until Jack gets back. Speaking of injuries, Frank, Connor Bedard,
God,
against the St. Louis Blues.
At the end of the game too.
At the end of the game, trying to tie it, trying to win a faceoff. No time left. Not sure why he was the guy trying to take the faceoff anyway. He's not their best faceoff guy. He's gotten better. I would have wanted him to be the one taking the shot, but Blashill's done a great job with the team. I'm not going to poo-poo any of his decisions. A lot of people hate Braden Shen. A lot of smart people, a lot of coaches, a lot of analysts that played in the NHL defending Braden Shen, saying Bedard actually hurt himself on the twisty part and then Shen hit him and made it look worse than it was. I don't really have an opinion on that because regardless of whether Shen had intent or not, we'll never know because we're not in his head. They're going to go after him next game. Next time.
Be a fight.
Yeah, someone's going to fight him, regardless if it was
going to drop the gloves.
Yeah, someone's fighting him. Hopefully Foligno's back by then. He is on the trip, which is nice.
Yeah.
I forget when they come back. I know one of the times the Blues comes back is April 11th when they will honor Duncan Keith at the United Center. There's one more at the United Center before that. Both of the games in St. Louis are done. But I mean, Bedard, he accounts for 49% of all goals scored by the Chicago Blackhawks this season. The only player who accounts for more of their team goals this season is Macklin Celebrini. And he was right there for the scoring lead and the goals lead. And, truly one of the best centers in the NHL. The Hawks are going to be without him until at least the first week of January. I've heard it's a separated shoulder.
Yeah.
And he's going to, he's not on the road trip where they played Toronto yesterday. Tough game. Montreal tomorrow, Ottawa Saturday at 2 p.m. matinee game before the Bears kick off. Nice little sports Saturday for Chicago fans.
Yeah.
And then they come home for the Flyers, Penguins. They play the Dallas Stars on New Year's Day. I probably think he'll miss all those games, and hopefully that game after is when he returns. But I mean, what are your thoughts on Bedard, the whole thing?
He was playing unbelievable VP. He was tied for 5th in scoring. You hate to see him go down, especially a guy of his caliber. And yeah, I saw Kevin Weeks reported that he believes it's a separated shoulder, which I guess you could argue is great news. There's no broken bone. There's no broken bones. There's no muscle tears. No surgery required, which is great. He'll be reevaluated after the new year. Hopefully, he doesn't miss too much time after that because my man was on pace for a 40-goal, 90-point season. But I don't think he's going to miss too much time heading into January from just everything I've heard so far.
Yeah, from what I was told, surgery is not being considered at this time. To say it's been completely ruled out would probably be a lie, but it doesn't seem like they want to go that route. He did say, Connor, that he wants to be day-to-day, and he is on the trip, but that's just for camaraderie and fun and, being with the team, which is, good that he wanted to make that decision. I am happy about that. But, yeah, they need Bedard. I think he was on pace for more than 90 points. I think it was like 110. He's got 44 points in 31 games played. So I think he blows past. He still could get over 100. I think if he comes back and stays on the pace, you hope it doesn't impact the way he shoots or, makes his plays or anything like that when he does. But I really don't think it will. Listen, nobody is more of an expert on their team's star players dealing with shoulder surgeries or shoulder issues than your boy. Jack's had it twice. Luke had it once. They both came back pretty okay in terms of what they bring offensively, which is what you're looking for from Bedard. In fact, so I believe Team Canada can name a team, right? They can name a team and then scratch all of them and name another team. And they're not allowed to take the players from the first team.
Yeah.
And they could still win gold. Let me be very clear about that. No matter what decisions they make for their roster, I believe they can still win gold. That has been proven to me time and time again. If they don't take Bedard and Celebrini, then I do not believe they are serious about making the best possible team. Again, let me be very clear. They can take a team, scratch all of them, and make another team, and I still think they can win gold. But if they want their best possible team, if their goal is to run through the Olympics and dominate every single game to the best of their ability, Bedard and Celebrini better be there. Otherwise, I will consider them unserious about it.
Yeah, we'll see. They might not, VP. They might not make it. They deserve it.
I think Celebrini's a lock.
We'll see.
But Bedard better make it. If he doesn't make it, I will be pissed.
Bedard's right there with Celebrini, though, in terms of production.
Celebrini's a tick ahead.
Well, he is. He is ahead, but they're basically right there.
Bedard or Celebrini also, without any development or stress on it or anything, has been great in all three zones since the second he stepped on NHL ice. The same cannot be said for Bedard. Now that has improved this year.
Yeah.
Celebrini could win a Selke Trophy and a Hart. It's like if Connor Bedard makes Team Canada, he basically has to play in the top six. But Celebrini could be the fourth line center, the third line center. That checking, scoring, defensive, but also offensive player. He's got more versatility, which is why I think he's a lock. Bedard, you bring him there because he's a pure offensive player. One of the best pure offense. I'm not poo-pooing Bedard. I'm complimenting both. Celebrini's more versatile in every way. He's bigger, stronger, probably faster. Although Bedard, 2 miles per hour tick on his average burst this year. Just one of the truly great offensive players in the NHL right now. Did you see that goal Celebrini scored last night? Oh my God.
Yeah, there's.
Oh my God. There's a case to be made. He's the third best center in the NHL right now, behind McDavid and the Nate Dogg. I'm not making that case. I still think, show me a little longer. But I mean, dude, and I'm not pick one or the other kind. They're both awesome. They both have strengths. Bedard has a better shot, but Celebrini will score just as many goals because of his finesse and hands and brain. So, I mean, just truly, truly awesome. Can't wait to watch Team Canada. They both better be there. I hope Bedard's back quickly, though, for the Blackhawks' sake.
I think you will.
Frank Buffalo made an executive change.
Mm-hmm.
They fired Kevin Adams after 5 years of service as their general manager, and they bring in Jarmo Kekalainen, who they brought in as an advisor over the summer. Makes you wonder if the intention was always, if Buffalo has a tough start to the year, to promote him anyway. What's your take on Buffalo and the change that they made?
They need to change. 5 years, no playoff appearances in those 5 years. Clear that some changes needed to be made. Sabres hold the current longest playoff drought. Buffalo, you're a major hockey market. You have a ton of guys and so much talent that has come through Buffalo over the course of how many years. And you still got guys who play for the Buffalo Sabres who are on the current roster who are very talented, but nothing's happening. They're becoming the laughing stock and joke in the NHL because they can't get their crap together. So hopefully this is a turning point for the Buffalo Sabres. However, an executive change isn't what gets you out of this playoff drought and gets you back on the right track. It helps, but it's not the only thing that needs to be done. It's all about how you handle the off seasons. You got to be willing to take big swings. Even if you end up striking out, got to be willing to do that. I did hear they were a team that offered Quinn Hughes. They were in on a Quinn Hughes. I don't know if you heard that, VP. They were one of 5 teams. I don't know how true that is, but you gotta be one of those teams willing to take those chances. And I think it starts now. You better, because they're a joke right now.
Kekalainen has been known to take swings. He traded for Panarin. He signed Johnny Gaudreau out of nowhere. The Blue Jackets were competent while he was there. They never got over that hump. We'll see if he learns from some of his mistakes that he made late in his Blue Jackets tenure, which ultimately got him fired there. When he now takes over this job. Kevin Adams as the GM of the Buffalo Sabres, not great. Trading Middlestat for Bowen Byram, good move. Really can't. Both Eric Stahl trades by him were bad. The Taylor Hall trade was bad. There's really not much to show for, pretty much anything that took place while he was there. Hiring Lindy Ruff, I'm not a fan of the way he ran the team as the GM. Now you bring in Kekalainen, who I brought up some of his triumphs and failures in his career. We'll see how it goes from there. But I have heard to keep an eye on them for a potential coaching change, with Lindy Ruff potentially on the hot seat now that there's the new GM in place, and to keep Peter DeBoer and John Tortorella in mind. Not necessarily a guarantee that it's one of them, but those are the names I've heard to keep an eye on in terms of potential next coaching options for the Buffalo Sabres. Now watch, they're going to announce somebody in a totally different direction later this afternoon, and I would look dumb, but I'm not going to look dumb. I'm prefacing it that it could happen. I like those two names from a couple conversations that I had as potential replacements for Lindy Ruff if they go the route of firing him anytime soon. Peter DeBoer was fired by the Devils the day after Christmas. Wouldn't it be funny if he got hired by Buffalo the day after Christmas?
Would be funny.
So, Frank, you got anything left in the hockey world you got to get off your chest?
I don't believe so.
Devils better go trade for someone. Go get Ryan O'Reilly.
They need Hughes back.
They need Hughes back. Earlier than expected is the word. It was 6 to 8 weeks. It's looking more like 6, which would be next Friday.
It's been that long already, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they've taken a tank, man.
They're 5-9 without.
Markstrom's been ass. He's been
ass.
He's been horrible.
Horrible. Allen's been okay. They're 5-9. They're 5-9.
Yeah.
And they play Vegas tonight. So we'll see. They are getting Brett Pesce back, which is huge for their defensive game. Doesn't bring a lot of offense. He's kind of like Diet Slavin, which is funny. They were a pair, and when they were on the ice in Carolina, you couldn't score on them. But, getting Pesce back is huge. That'll help defensively. Get Jack back, get back on a roll, make a trade. You can win the damn cup. You could be a cup-winning GM, Tom. Go out and do it. Don't just sit on your ass like you did last year. Last year, at least you had the Jack is out for the season. We know what we are. Why would we make trades type of deal? Why would we make trades to try and win the cup when we're clearly not good enough without Jack? I understood that. I didn't harp on them. If they do nothing this year, I want all of them gone. I want Fitzgerald gone. I want Sheldon Keefe gone. If they do nothing, you waste another year. Frank, don't even get me started. If you blink in this league, your core players are 30 years old and your window's closed. Look at the Maple Leafs. Marner's gone. Matthews is still a good player. He's still a top 5 player. Tavares is still really good. But you blinked and now they're all getting close to 30.
Yeah.
Edmonton at least has been to 2 cups. And McDavid and Draisaitl don't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. They're different kind of ponies. But if you don't act now, you could be sitting here in 3 years with no cup, and Jack Hughes is 29 now, and he's still great, but like instead of having 8 years in front of him in his prime, you have maybe 3. You have to win now. You have to try now. Do you need to win the cup this year? No. Do you need to build towards it further this year, though? Yes. You can't get smoked by Carolina in 5 for the second year in a row. You just can't have it. Now, Carolina's going to win the division, so unless the Devils are a wild card team, which I really don't see any Metro team being a wild card team, maybe. Philly's going to tank. Pittsburgh's going to tank. The Devils can get back in. I don't love the Rangers. They can't score at home. Go do something, Tom. Oh, my God, I'm getting all fired up over it. Frank, let's have an NFL quick chat in period number 3. Can't remember a Thursday night football game with more meat and cheese attached than this one tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's going to be
between
good.
The Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. The winner's going to be the top team in the NFC West. The winner's going to be the top team in the NFC. Frank, what a treat lined up for football fans on Thursday Night Football tomorrow between these two awesome teams.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. They're both 11-3, right? They're both
I believe they are both 11-3.
So the winner will be second to the Denver Broncos, who are 12-2. But the loser, obviously, it will not be in contention for the number 1 seed in the NFC.
They're going to be the 5 seed and go on the road.
Right. While the winner will keep their hopes alive in the hopes that the Broncos can find a way to falter and give up that number 1 seed in the NFC. I will say
no, in the league.
And both.
No,
right?
The Broncos are in the AFC.
Oh, yeah. In the league. So they will be whoever wins this will be the number 1 seed.
They'll have the inside edge on a bye.
Yeah, you're right. I will say, I don't like the way the Seahawks played against the Colts this past week.
No.
At almost 14-point favorites. 2 touchdown favorites, and almost lost to Phillip Rivers, who hasn't thrown a football in 5 years.
He's a literal grandpa.
But I digress. I mean, it should be a very entertaining game.
He has a grandkid.
VP, he hasn't thrown a football in 5 years. He was a semifinalist on the Hall of Fame.
But his kid had a kid, and he's playing in the NFL.
I understand.
Has there ever been a grandpa in the NFL before?
Yeah, Phillip Rivers.
Okay, good point.
I think the Rams are going to come away with the victory here. But the Seahawks, they got a great team. They performed like ass last week.
A lot of people aren't talking. They've kind of been asked for like a month. And they squeak out wins over bad teams. And I'm not a you beat bad teams hater type of person. when people were saying it about the Bears, I thought it was ridiculous. It's just a little bit of a red flag that lately the Seahawks have played poorly. At least when the Bears play ass teams like the Browns, they shit on them.
Mhm.
Little concerned about the Seahawks. I think they were favorites last time I looked, and I don't understand that. I think the Rams are the best team in
Rams
the
are
NFL.
1.5.
They are 1.5 now?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I do think the Rams are the better team. Despite having one less win, I would take them in a game over the Denver Broncos in a heartbeat. I think the Rams are the best team in the NFL. They have a little bit of everything on both sides of the ball. Sean McVay, right there for a top 5 coach in the NFL. He won't win Coach of the Year because people kind of thought the Rams, one of Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, or Kyle Shanahan are winning the Coach of the Year this year. It's really not close. It's going to be those 3 in the mix. But McVay's right there in terms of overall impact on a team. Rams versus Seahawks, though, it's going to be a treat. I don't think it's a guarantee they win. It's going to be close. Each team's going to bring their best on national TV.
It's one of the better Thursday night football games this season for sure.
Yes, which since Amazon took over, they've gotten better in general, I will say. It used to be like just a terrible matchup between 2 teams that aren't rivals. A lot of the times they were low in the standings. Like Color Rush, I have the image of the pre-Josh Allen Buffalo Bills wearing all red, and they're like 3-10 playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars wearing their all tan jersey, and pre-Trevor Lawrence, like, ew. Frank, on Sunday at noon, Panthers versus Bucks.
Yeah, this is irritating because the Panthers had a good opportunity to take a hold of the NFC South, and they took a crap against the New Orleans Saints.
Who the Bucks also lost to.
Oh, you can't do that, VP.
I know.
It's so irritating because go Panthers. They're
No.
they're the underdog story here. I'm not saying again. I'm just saying in general. Like I'd love to see the Panthers make.
Yeah, I get that.
I think that'd be sick. So it's just irritating that they lost to the Saints. But this game's going to obviously be big to see who wins the division. Now I will say these teams also face each other in the final week of the regular season. So the losing team in this game will still have a chance, most likely, to get a bit of revenge and even maybe steal the division away in week 17 or week 18 or whatever. Yeah, in week 18. But still a big game either way.
Yeah, so I love the Bucks. I root for the Bears. They're my number 1 team, but I still root for Tom Brady's teams pretty hard. I got a nice Bucks jacket. Shout out Joey. Excited about the Bucks always. I predicted them to go 12-5, and they were on pace for that until a month ago, and they just can't stop losing. But I predicted the Saints to go 1-6, and both teams lost twice. So just disgusting, gross play by them. But I will take a little credit for thinking the Panthers were going to be a little bit better than some others. 7-10 was kind of getting some hate. Thinking the Panthers would even be 7-10. So the fact that they could eclipse that even.
They might lose out and be 7-10.
Yeah, maybe.
Play the
which
Bucks
would still
twice.
would still be better than anything people projected. But it's cool to see an interdivision matchup mean this much, though. I will say that. I'm excited about that. And then, Frank, of course, the treat for all of us locally here is going to come on Saturday night when the Green Bay Packers pay a visit to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears in a game that the winner will leave in first place of the NFC North and the 2nd seed of the NFC, and the loser will leave town as the 7th seed, barely hanging on to a playoff position. A lot at stake at Soldier Field on Saturday night.
This is the biggest game the Bears have played in a very long time. The winner of this game will most likely decide who wins the NFC North. It's not a given, but you kind of look at the remaining schedules and you just kind of have a feeling that the winner of this game will most likely decide who wins it. And it's a very, very winnable game for the Chicago Bears, VP. The Bears lost the close game a couple weeks ago to the Packers. From what I saw, the Packers are very beatable. Bears are 1-5, or they're 5-1 at home this season. They need to use every ounce of that fan base. You know how crazy Soldier Field gets for Bears Packers. They need to take all the energy from the fans. They need to get it done and prove that they're a real deal and a force to be reckoned with here. It's very hard to beat a team twice in the same season in the NFL. Very hard to do. Ask the Patriots, who choked at a 21-point lead for the division against the Bills. Very hard to beat a team twice in a season. Bears could get this done, especially at home where they've been dominant. Only one loss at home.
Got a piece coming to you tomorrow for USA Today's Bears Wire. 3 advantages that the Bears have over the Packers. One, it's at home. Bears are at home after losing to them at Lambeau. We always talk about it's hard to beat a team twice in the regular season. The second, I mean, losing Christian Watson and Micah Parsons is devastating for the Green Bay Packers. I mean, they played a key role in beating the Bears at Lambeau Field last week or 2 weeks ago. Watson had 2 touchdowns, including the backbreaker at the end of the game. And Micah Parsons really kind of made Caleb Williams uncomfortable for the first time this season because the Bears' offensive line has been great. But they kind of forced him to throw the ball with the way that they used Micah Parsons in different defensive looks. Which can be good, it can be bad, but without him, they got nothing. And, they don't even have, nearly half the swagger that they have if Micah Parsons is playing on defense. Same thing with Watson on offense. We'll see what Jordan Love does in response to missing his top target. But it should be interesting. And then the third thing, Frank, teams that play the Denver Broncos this season are 3-10 the following week. And the Green Bay Packers just got smoked by the Broncos last week. So not great. Not great.
Interesting.
It's like the Broncos beat you, they beat you twice. They beat you up.
That's weird. That's really weird.
I think it's a thing like the Broncos are very physical and they hurt you. You know who has the second best record? Or playing them as the second worst record the following week is the Bears. If you play the Bears, you lose a lot the following week. And think back, the Packers, they lost a week after playing the Bears. The Vikings, they lost a week after playing the Bears. Who is the couple? No, the Browns hasn't happened yet. Who's a couple other recent games that they've played? The Steelers. The Steelers lost the week after they played the Bears. It's just every time same thing. I think the Bears are 3-9-1 teams the following week. Because some I think Dallas got a tie the week after they played the Bears. Yeah, it's nuts. It's truly nuts. But the Broncos are the top dog in that regard. So hopefully that stays true when the Bears play them this week at Soldier Field. Frank, no playoffs for the Chiefs for the first time in 11 years.
Yeah.
Have you done your little dance yet?
Oh, yeah.
Knowing that the one team that makes Josh Allen quirl in the fourth quarter is not going to make the playoffs. If the Bills win the Super Bowl, there might be a little asterisk next to it.
That's crazy. That's no.
It's like when the Hawks won the Cup in 10. Nobody cared because they didn't go through Detroit. It wasn't until 13 when they got through Detroit.
The AFC's wide open for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills VP. It's wide open. I mean, besides Aaron Rodgers, he's going to have the most playoff experience in the postseason. They got a lot of young guys in that AFC. Bo Nix, Drake May, maybe Bryce Young. Or no, that's NFC. That's NFC. But in the playoffs in general, I mean, there's if you're the Bills, you got to get it done. There's literally not a better time than now. No Lamar potentially, unless they come back and win the division.
I would say likely.
You think? Everybody says they're going to win the division. They're going to win the division, and the Steelers just keep winning.
Yeah, if they would have lost to the Dolphins, I'd probably lean Baltimore, but right now I'm leaning Pittsburgh.
Oh, I thought you're saying likely that they'll make it.
Oh, no. No, I think Pittsburgh makes it.
No Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson.
And that's not going to happen again. So now's a good time.
Josh, now's the time. The logo for Super Bowl is blue.
Here's the thing, though.
In it.
The Broncos and the Patriots feel the same way. They're looking at the playoffs, saying we have an opportunity to win with a young quarterback before he gets paid. Like, no Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow. Those guys are all going to get back. I think the Chiefs, it's going to take 2 years. But Guy comes in the
choked
chat.
so bad
Guy comes
too.
in the chat and asks for hockey after we talked about hockey for 45 minutes. So yeah,
VP. They
go
choked
ahead.
the Patriots.
Oh, they
21 to
choked.
nothing.
Oh, they choked.
If you win the game, you win the division. They might not win the division, man. I think they're underdogs this week, or they got a tough game this week. Bills got a cupcake against the Browns. Got to win that game. I honestly think the Bills are going to win the division. It's going to be sweet. How do you choke that bad? 21 to nothing with the division on the line. Yep. I mean, I give credit to Josh Allen and the Bills, though. They've been the comeback kings in almost every game.
Well, he kind of snatched NFL MVP away from Drake May in that win. He didn't just take the game
like crap in the second half.
Yeah, oh yeah. But the Bills defense played very well.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen just started balling.
Oh, that's Josh Allen for you, though.
Yep. This is their best chance. Listen, the Chiefs, they deserve credit because they're a well-run organization. It's not just Patrick Mahomes. They made it every year with Alex Smith before that. So, 11 years. Mahomes hasn't been in the league for 11 years. How long has it been? 8? Like, they've been a consistently good team for a long time, Kansas City, and it's been a nightmare season. Tough games, tough losses here and there, 3-point losses. Now Mahomes is out for the year. I have heard he's dead set on returning in time for opening day. Good luck with that. Coming back from an ACL, but you never know with some of these supremely talented, supremely motivated athletes. The Patriots went through something very similar right around the same time that Mahomes is in right now with Tom. They did go 10 years without winning the Super Bowl. He had 6 there, 7 total. There were 10 years between Super Bowls 3 and 4. So it's hard to win in the NFL. And I've told you this many times. Tom won 7 out of 20 years. Big Ben did get 2. Joe Flacco got 1. Rodgers got 1. Drew Brees got 1. Peyton Manning got 2.
Yeah.
They're going to have their cake and eat it too. So this is a good opportunity for Josh. We'll see if the Bills are able to get it done.
Oh, I hope so, VP.
See if the Bills are able to get it done. Yeah. A lot of teams outperforming expectations. A lot of teams failing to meet expectations.
We're having a flip in the NFL right now, where the teams who have been bad recently are starting to become really good.
Yeah, it's true. That happens with good drafting and developing.
A lot of flipping here, and some of the good teams are not performing that well.
Yep, absolutely. So we'll see. Baltimore doesn't stay down for long. You think of Joe Burrow eventually gets in again after making it to the Super Bowl in his second year.
I feel like the Bengals might trade him.
Well, I wonder if we have a Matthew Stafford situation on our hands. Except for some reason, people were Matthew Stafford haters. They didn't look at the stats or watch the games, and so they crapped on him until he got to LA. And then with that team, he starts to win while also having these great stats. And now everybody knows he's a Hall of Famer, all-time great talent. Burrow never really took that hate, though. They just know. I don't know why we know for Joe Burrow, but we didn't know. I knew. I always talked highly of Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we had a couple debates even with Joey about the Rams when they first got Stafford. Like, dude's been unbelievable his whole career. Go look at his stats with Detroit: 45,000 yards, 5,000 yards, 30 touchdowns. The team's 4-12. That's not his fault always. Matthew or Stat Padford, they called him. Stat Padford. I remember that too. Dumb. Just because it's the fourth quarter means those incredible plays don't count. Frank, it's time for America's favorite podcast segment of the week, Breaking Bets.
Where's my money, bitch?
Frank, I think it's time we show the true power of this battle station. You may fire when ready.
Got a good matchup, couple good matchups in the NHL tonight. Florida Panthers, Los Angeles Kings. Panthers right now, they're playing so much better than the Kings. It's not even funny. There isn't a better time to back the Panthers in this matchup. Nothing has been going right for the Kings lately. They've been struggling to score goals. They're not winning games. Panthers are coming home after a 4-game road trip. Panthers dominated their first matchup of the season. This feels like the same thing is going to happen this time around. We're going to back the Florida Panthers money line at home against the Los Angeles Kings at -142, bet to win 3 units. And then, of course, the weekend treat, the game that most people we know are looking forward to, the Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears don't win division matchups. Everyone knows that. Packers have always dominated the Bears, especially over the past decade. But that changes this weekend. I do believe the Bears can get a win on their home field against the Packers. They were one play away from tying the game up late in their first matchup. There is so much on the line for both of these teams in this game, but I will buy what the Bears are selling and back them here. I expect a very close and tight game, even closer than their first game was against each other. And the Bears, you know what they're good at? They're good at winning close and tight games. Give me the Bears money line -105, bet to win 3 units. And it'll be a great day for everybody in Chicago.
Very good, Frank. Very, very good. Great show. Great bets. Great hockey. Great football. Very excited. Going to be a great weekend of sports.
Yep. We got bowl games, college football playoff. I believe that starts this week, the 19th on Friday. It's great football season.
Great. Absolutely. Can't wait. Going to be so great. Make sure you tune in to all the shows on the Barroom Network to help get you ready for all the said good football. We will return in 2 weeks on New Year's Eve to preview the Olympic rosters and some of the hot storylines going on around the National Hockey League. And to everybody who watches this show, comments on the show, wherever it is you get it, we wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. And from everyone at the Barroom Network, we say, as always, Frank, thank you for listening.
We're talking hockey, we always will!